live? Oh.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Mamluks. My name is Sim. Along with me are my co-hosts and the little integrity we have left on the show.
Good job, Moore.
I care less.
Our Sheikh Khamer, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
And my man Mort.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. You have to greet him properly now because he's losing his sheikhdom if the ahlan wa sahlan sheikh.
Sheikh, you're no longer a sheikh if you're not part of a mosque anymore. You're no longer associated.
Am I unmosqued?
A mosque or some kind of learning institution, or if you're not wearing a thobe or a kufi or.
Really, I didn't know that.
Basically, you sold out to the devil.
You're dressed like you went out into the wilderness for a few weeks and you just returned.
Yeah, it's beginning of winter here. We're in the wilderness. We're nearly in our studios in the jungle, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty offensive.
No, it's not. Jungles are awesome.
Corporate America has made you a real a-hole.
So just to get the audience up to speed, over the past few weeks, Sheikh Khamer had an internal struggle at his previous organization filled with strife.
Strife.
And fitan?
Fitan.
Can we call it fitan?
Fitan. Yeah.
So there were...
but we don't have to talk about it.
So Sheikh Khamer took his talents to South Beach, and he ended up wanting to work for corporate America.
Possibly, yeah. Let's just keep it at that. Let's not get into too much detail, please.
Right.
We don't give details. Yeah.
We don't.
No, we don't. I don't think we ever given details.
Okay.
Yeah. Paranoid beyond. Anyways, how are you finding corporate America, though?
I think it's pretty interesting.
Have you gotten caught with your foot in the sink yet?
No, because I'm 100% remote.
Oh, there you go.
I could stick my foot in my sink as much as I want.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. No leaky lotus.
Do you have to go into the office at all?
No.
Completely remote?
100% remote. Alhamdulillah.
100%?
100%.
MashaAllah.
Yeah, man.
Even Eid?
Yeah.
Could we have remote Eid salah? Would that work too?
So a lot of changes have been happening with our team. I've had a new job or a new position. Sheikh's got a new job. Mort got a new job as well. So everyone's been working hard, and they've been. We haven't been able to do a lot of shows,
Yeah.
Because let's just be honest. I'm gonna have a moment of frankness with my listeners. You guys don't donate enough, and so we gotta work.
We gotta up.
I'm not blaming you guys. Hey, everyone's got money.
We were only asking for what, $2-3 a month.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, look, if you don't or you don't, if you do or you don't, we'll keep the show moving, but it'll be at our pace.
Yeah,
right. If that means we do a show every once a month or we do it once a week.
But we have to do something special for the Patreon people because they've been loyal.
Yeah, you guys are my loyal fans, and I think I'm gonna do something. We're gonna come up with something, a gift idea. I'm gonna send out to each one.
How about PS5s?
No, I'm not that.
No, we'll go to the
this guy doing PS5. I don't even have it for myself.
That's true. I don't.
Can I ask how many Patreon members there are?
I don't know.
Honestly, that's personal information shit. You
can't I'm just saying there'd be a lot of PS5s.
You crossed the line now.
I guess a lot of PS5s.
What are you thinking?
We have
what a guy. What a guy.
We could probably buy a PS5 video game.
Yeah. Look, it's not like, let's be honest here. For those of you who are thinking about podcasting and, you can be a social media influencer and all this stuff, right? Let's be honest here. There's going to be this idea of having some kind of angel investor is all nonsense, right? You work by volume. The more people you get that like you, that support you, they donate $1 max. $5 maybe if you're real lucky, and then you just go by volume. And to be honest, the Muslim market, the niche market, isn't that monetizable, right? Even if you go to YouTube, they're not going to let you monetize everything because the subject matter we talk about and stuff we talk about is not the cool stuff, true. Right? It's the serious stuff. It's the topics with substance, that men of honor speak with. Not low class men that talk about Yeezys and I don't know. Do pranks on the internet, right? This is high quality stuff. High quality stuff means it's not entertaining. It's just high quality.
Inobi, the TMM chat says, how about this, or an idea, call with Sheikh, get questions with them dealing with the Deen. So
that's pretty cool.
Patreon members can call exclusively into the show and have their questions answered by you.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you do a super chat, you want $20 per question.
No, that super chat doesn't work anymore because YouTube demonetize us.
PayPal, baby. We have other options. We'll see your
The
PayPal
Mad
go
Mamluks at the Mad Mamluks at PayPal.com.
Yeah, they can't con us now. Now that they know that we're demonetized, you take advantage of us. No, thank you, guys. We're still on top of our stuff. We're old, not dumb. Right?
We're old, not dumb. Wow, Mort.
Yeah. What else? Mohammed Hijab has been caught with his shirt off.
Dude, hats off.
Yes.
To my man Mo Hijab.
Yeah, bro.
Mohammed.
Dude, he's a beast,
Mohammed.
Bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. At first, I kind of laughed, but then I was like, dude, this guy, he's...
No, I didn't laugh at all. Actually,
like,
you know what I first thought?
Ways.
That was like one of those, you know those movie moments, like you know what I'm talking about? Like, what's that movie? Oh, come on, man. The Mel Gibson one.
Oh, Braveheart.
Yeah.
Right, where he's giving that last speech.
Except he sounded like Bane, bro.
Huh?
Did he sound like Bane when he started yelling?
No.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Bane moment from Batman.
Yeah.
His voice.
But this is more of a motivational moment.
It's very motivational.
It's like, we're knocking on your doorstep, and it's like life or death.
Yeah.
Right? And he takes off his shirt and he tosses it at the Chinese embassy. I mean, phenomenal, bro.
Yeah.
You can't.
The setup was beautiful.
Yeah, it was just, and it was all random. And the best part about it is that
no, it wasn't. I mean, I'm sure it was planned.
No,
it was planned.
No, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter. I don't care. The setup was or whatever it is, but there were certain things that were random. Like, for example, the Uyghur brother that came up and gave him a hug and covered him in a jacket. That's not planned, right? That guy came out and genuinely felt a brotherhood and a bond with that person, right? And that kind of stuff, and even the speaking, he's naturally gifted as a speaker. Yeah, it might have been over the top a little bit, but you need to be over the top to get these points.
So let's play for the listeners, and because we have some interesting takes on social media on this. People.
If anybody makes the main criticism him taking his shirt off, like, dude, you gotta be in life.
Someone said I would have taken off my pants.
Who said that?
For the right person, maybe, but not there. Right person meaning wife. Don't get excited.
I didn't say anything, bro. I'm just
stuff for a while.
Not getting excited.
There you go. All right. Mohammed, here we go.
You see, many events have happened in history that we look back at now and we realize we could have changed if things had been different.
For those who don't know, on the audio platform, Mohammed Hijab is going for a Uyghur protest. So he's wearing the Uyghur T-shirt in their colors.
Stand for Uyghurs.
Stand for the Uyghurs, and he's got that going.
We look at the Holocaust. We look at different types of genocide that have happened throughout the 20th century. But isn't it interesting? Isn't it very, very interesting that we are living in a time where such an event is happening now, and it is happening to a people in a country like China, whereby women are being raped, children are being separated from their families, organs are being harvested, people are being put into concentration camps. And did they think that we were just going to stand idly by? I want to tell the Chinese government and the Chinese Communist Party one thing. I want to tell you directly, you may be able to manipulate governments, but you cannot manipulate the millions of Muslims around the world. Did you think that you were going to have a minority group in your country, persecute them in the way that you are persecuting them, deal with them in the way that you are dealing with them, and that we were not going to get involved? Did you think that you could do whatever you want to these Uyghurs, and that everyone was going to allow you because of your size and strength? Do you think that if you start a war with the Uyghurs, that you have not started a war with the Muslims?
Okay, so let's just talk about that one part. That's a great point he made.
Yeah.
First of all, that goes understated just by many activist groups. They don't emphasize this point because they don't want to affiliate Islamic issues or Muslim issues with Islam and the global ummah, right? A lot of people are scared, or they feel like, oh, well, you know, we're talking about activism and not, you know, fighting against justice, and we don't necessarily want to associate the movement with Islam. So what he did was beautiful because it needed to be done, and I really need to applaud him for that. And by the way, I'm not a Mohammed Hijab fanboy. If he did something wrong, I don't care. He's not coming on our show. He's in the stratosphere in terms of celebrity.
Yeah.
I'm not. If he did something wrong, I would say, but what he's saying right now is on point. This is exactly what needs to be said.
It's needed, and I think the biggest reason why is because we have this tendency now, post 9/11, to separate politics from Islam.
Yeah.
And try to drive a wedge between and say, no, we just want to give dawah. We're all about love and peace, and we don't want a problem, right? Where he's driving the wedge and he's taking away that wedge and saying, no, your politics, when it comes to the Muslims, impact us all, and we stand with you. Regardless if you're doing it for political reasons, ideological reasons, for whatever reasons. We stand when Muslims are being hurt, we stand with them.
Yeah.
It's a very simple
and the other
message.
thing I want to add on to that is a lot of the, the rallies or whatever, the protests that I went to, a majority of the time, if it's like humanitarian in nature, they're just going to stick to, and that's fine too, just what they're doing on a humanitarian level. He made it very visceral for all the Muslims that are listening to this, that we're not just going to be, just because we're living in the West, our affairs are in the West, so we're just going to be busy with the affairs in the West, right?
Yeah.
The whole global issue that you're talking about, the whole Muslim global issue, right? As an ummah, I think that was beautiful.
Yeah. So
very well timed.
let's go back to this guy. All right. Oh, by the way, he came in. He came in on the podium wearing a Uyghur mask. It looked like one of those.
Yeah. The V for Vendetta type thing.
No.
They have their own with the face.
Yeah,
cover.
but he looked like one of those Mexican wrestlers. What are they called?
That's from Nacho Libre.
Yeah,
Nacho Libre, where he had him on.
Yeah, but I can't remember their name. But yeah, he was wearing like a Uyghur colored mask.
Flag colored mask, yeah.
Now the Chinese today, with all vehemency and all vigor, you have started a war with the Muslims, and we will not live or die until we become victorious in this war. Look at them now. Look at them looking at me. What are you looking at? My question is, what the hell are you looking at? You've taken your flag away. You've taken your flag away. The Chinese Communist flag. Well, I have a flag that you can replace your flag with. Take this Uyghur flag, you sons of bitches! I tell you today, you have nothing to offer the world. You have nothing at all to offer the world. You know why? Because you have already incorporated a Marxist communist system. You've already lost the war against the Americans and the West because you have taken their ideology. You are a prostitute. You are a prostitute, I tell you, a prostitute. And the West is already your pimp. And you know what else? You haven't even been ingenuous to your pimp. Because you know why? They have taken another pimp, the pimp of capitalism. That's your pimp. But let me tell you something. Your best bet is actually to become Muslims. That's your best bet. Your best bet is to do what the Mongols did and embrace Islam. You have nothing to offer.
Perfect. That. Now, hang on. There's so much to be said about this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another amazing. It's not just emotion. Look, we've had many people over the years doing activism, having a lot of emotion and fire. Yeah, a lot of bravado and stuff. But he's giving very salient points over here. What is the first thing he's telling to the Chinese? Is that you're nothing. You're offering nothing to the world. What are the Chinese? They don't export ideology. They don't export anything. They don't export ideas. All they do is build things. They steal others' innovation and they make duplicates of it. They are
a superpower, but
they are a superpower, but that doesn't have anything to do with contributing to the world.
You're right, and the point is that they're not influencing anybody. They're being influenced, and that's the point. That he's saying, sure, you might have power, but you're using the same methodology, the same system that you hated, that Mao and other people hated, all these communist Marxists they hated, you're using that to now. So you're trying to replace the Americans and the Western imperialists that you hated, and using their antics and tactics. So what war are you fighting? You're literally you expose yourself as people that are simply after power and willing to be whores, prostitutes, to do anything to get what you want. And that's pretty much what he's saying.
That's exactly what China is now. China has nothing that they offer the world. Their own government just wishes for them to be happy little consumers, feeding into the same ideology as Western capitalism, by the way, where you just fulfill your next desire. You don't care about anything else in terms of what your world or your obligation or your spirituality requires from you, but that you keep consuming, keep buying things, because ultimately buying things is what is required from capitalism and this fake communism that the Chinese have implemented. So let's go back to the video.
But I like the whole Mongolian thing he threw in there.
Yeah,
because he's making it like he's still giving a type of da'wah though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's a beautiful point you just made. Yeah, because he's saying he's all not just throwing that in their face, but also giving them an alternative.
Alternative. That's the word I'm looking for. Yes, sir. He's saying that, hey, listen, all the great superpowers of the past, especially like the Mongolians, they had to become Muslim eventually.
No, but you're missing the key point. Compared to the Chinese dynasties, Mongolia was nobody. They rose to because you know the story of Genghis Khan, well, allegedly, someone kidnapped his wife and his family, and from that point on, he just conquered the world. I mean, he set off, he enraged a Mongol and an opponent that was more fierce against you, and eventually his great-grandson became like one of the emperors of China, right?
I don't think his wife was kidnapped, though.
It's one of the business deals that went wrong with him.
Yeah, something.
With Muslims did a business deal that was very
not with Genghis Khan. Not with Genghis Khan.
No, wasn't that one of his statements? He said, "I'm God's wrath upon you."
No, that's Genghis Khan.
No.
That wasn't Genghis Khan.
Monetizing Khan.
Monge.
Oh, I thought Monetizing Khan. I was like, what?
If no one said that would be great, bro. Like return.
No, who was that? Who said I'm God's wrath upon you?
Hulagu said that too.
Oh, yeah, really? That was Genghis Khan?
No, Genghis Khan came before them. Genghis was before. Yeah, but Genghis allegedly the story according to them is that his family was harassed, abducted, and there was some, and he was put in these he rebelled and whatever was the point. The point is that Chinese were the ones that were controlling the area, and eventually the result was that Genghis Khan and his ancestors ended up decimating the long-standing empire for thousands of years in China, and walked over them and other parts. And so he's given them not only an option that they became Muslim, but also the ibra, the lesson that, hey, just because you're mighty in size doesn't mean that you can do what you want to do. You anger somebody enough, you wake a sleeping giant, and they can decimate you and wipe you away from history. I mean, literally, it took a few Mongol hordes to just basically take over Europe and Asia.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. His wife was captured.
It was captured?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I knew that. Yeah. But I don't know.
Why are you so reluctant to admit it?
What are you talking about?
I was joking.
No, I'm reading while I was talking.
Yeah, we talked about this.
I was looking
at Google and Yahoo. Google. See, can we stop
for a moment? We can't do that.
Listen, I'm not. Hold on. Calm down. I just want to talk about this. Take a small break for the audience so we understand. Everyone here by now understands that whenever you want to learn something or you want to act smart, you go to Google, right? I mean, Google is like a default, right? Hey Siri, hey Google, hey whatever, you do that. And Amir, the guy stuck in the 9th century here, sort of 9th century, he always asks us, hey, what about this? Hey, what does this mean? Can you decipher what these acronyms? So me and Sim are trying to get him to understand that maybe you in the audience can help our wonderful Sheikhana to understand.
I'm going to one-up this, but I'm going to let you finish. Go ahead.
Okay.
Continue, my child.
And the point is that there should be no shame in Sim Googling right now. That's the whole point.
There is no shame.
Stop trying to put him on the spot because
it was a joke, the funny face he made when he said it.
He's able to do what you can't do. He's already a better man than you.
Yeah. I believe on taking knowledge from heart to heart, not from just...
Sitter to sitter?
Sitter to sitter. Sitter to sitter. All right, let's go. It's
Well,
okay.
I believe see how corporate America has affected this man. How do you know the people at Wikipedia are not sincere at heart?
Very good. Can we watch MH, please?
Yeah. So we're back.
MH.
Here we go.
What a beast. Look at this guy. You don't care.
You have nothing to offer the world at all. What happens if you become a superpower? Tell me what happens when you become a superpower in this Cold War that you want to get into with the Americans. What have you got to offer the rest of the world? You've already taken their ideologies. Marxism, Leninism. You are nothing. I tell you, you are nothing. And it's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time until we deal with you. And so I say to them, and I say this again, with all vehemency and all vigor, that you cannot beat and defeat an enemy. That when they look at the barrel, the bottom of the barrel of the gun, they see paradise. We don't care about death, in fact. We don't care about martyrdom. Please make us martyrs. You cannot beat us. We're the unbeatable enemy. You should actually learn from the Uyghurs. You should actually learn from them the purpose of life, to worship one God. You should learn from them not to worship statues, not to worship whatever it is you've been worshipping for thousands of years. You should learn from the Uyghurs. Yes, you should learn from the Uyghurs. Because you know why? When you think about it, you're nothing. That's the truth. You're nothing. You've got nothing to offer. And I tell you today that you may be taking off La ilaha illallah from the tops of the masjids and replacing it with your communist flag, the flag of your ideological masters. But taking it off the masjid does not mean taking it out of the hearts of the believers. So I tell you once and again, it's only a matter of time. And you may want to start this Cold War with America, which you're starting now. Having the Muslims as your enemies is not a good idea. Wait, no, yes, look at me, look at me. Having the Muslims as your enemies is not a good idea. And history, as it has in the past, with the Persians and the Romans and the Mongols and all of these, history will tell this story again, and you will be defeated under our...
All right.
Wow.
So there's a man
beautiful.
who starts hugging.
So that moment to me tells me. I mean, you can see that genuine appreciation that what Uyghur brother felt, that someone was speaking and defending it on his behalf.
Yeah, yeah.
Something he couldn't do, and he was essentially, feeling that brotherhood, which is what the whole idea, the whole concept of this is, that your brothers are in pain. Your sisters are in pain. You should feel that. You should empathize with that, so they know that at least, maybe if you can't do something physical right now, but they know that you know how much suffering they're enduring for Islam. I think that was one of the main points someone could take away. That even something, this action, I mean, I'm not saying it's a small action, but in relatively comparison to physical harm, this is a very small thing. But that small gesture, a small action of brotherhood changes the whole dynamic.
You're right.
Here's the thing that's left on the table, or no one's talking about, is that he's doing what very few Muslims are reluctant to do. And what I mean by that is he's taking the flag, meaning he's saying that he's leading. No one in our community ever wants to lead. You know what I'm saying? They don't. I know, like, when we don't strive for or vie for leading a group of people, we get that. All the things related to that. But what I'm seeing here is someone who's actually taking charge,
Stomaching the responsibility,
rounding up, using his celebrity to get people rallied around this beautiful cause, this beautiful but tragic cause for the Uyghur. But we need to really understand that right now we as Muslims, we have very few people who are willing to even do anything, because nobody wants to stick their neck out everyone is worried about their job, what their coworkers are going to think if they see one of your posts on Facebook or whatever, and that just makes everyone just like, kind of get pulled back in. No one wants to
risk anything.
Yeah, they don't want to put anything on the line.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. Because you put yourself on the line, there's a risk, right? My coworkers, cancel, like this. So, and by the way, I'm not condemning anybody for that. I mean, I know it's tough. We live in a certain society, but what that should tell you is that you shouldn't then condemn someone like this. You should support him because he's being that voice that you need.
Yeah.
Right? So at the very least, you should say, hey, retweet this, put it out there, let people see these things. So you can also spread this ideology and this message to other Muslims who just are oblivious to things. They don't know, right?
But maybe we're missing something more. Let's ask our audience.
Who cares about them?
No, what did you guys see? Because I'm seeing all kinds of stuff on Facebook and Twitter.
Like what?
Oh, did you guys see Hijab take off his shirt? Blah blah blah.
I don't care less about that.
Oh, did you think he was prepared for it? Oh, did you see the color of his nipples? They're really erect. I don't know.
Yeah, they talk about all kinds of stuff.
That's weird. So look, can I just add before you look into the comments? I think there's a few things that are very important here. Look, when somebody speaks up like the way he did and observed very well his surroundings and spoke up for the sake of Allah, right? The first thing it's going to do is when somebody's disconnected, it's going to reconnect them. That's what that fiery, when you have something very fiery and that raises emotions, but's backed up by the Quran and the Sunnah and your loyalty to your brothers and sisters, right? Wherever it may be. What that does is a majority of us in this world, me included, we're all very disconnected because of everything that's happening with us. Sometimes voluntary, sometimes involuntary. So one of the types of people is that they didn't really get a chance to think about it and they needed that person to really remind them of Allah and the responsibility they have of other people, right? The other people are, like what Mort is saying, is that they wish they could say something, but now they have a voice that they can support, right? And the third is for the people that, like, 'cause I saw some of those comments too. Oh, did you see him? He took his shirt. And I literally, to one person that I forwarded that to on WhatsApp, they side messaged me. And I said, was his aura actually showing? I was like, literally, he actually, if you look at it,
he got a fanny pack on.
No, he was covering his belly button, right? Like, right, whatever, the aura was like right below.
I have a feeling I know what group is saying that too.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Even if he did that, look, that is very insignificant of the content of what he's speaking about. If you're concerned about, like,
listen, man,
it's scary for me to say, look, it's scary for me to say this, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts us in situations where he lets us realize who our priorities are and if we have nifaq in our heart too.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about his shirt and he's talking about your brothers and sisters, bro, like, you really have to check your heart before you speak up, bro, because you're opening your mouth in front of people, showing them that you're a munafiq, bro.
Do you really think it's the shirt? I think people are just cringing that they don't want to be associated with that firebrand type of Islam.
No, actually, I would say the other thing. I would say the people that criticize his, if they want to say his, okay, let's do one thing. People who hate this quote unquote firebrand of Islam, right? They're not going to criticize him for his shirt, right? They're going to criticize, oh my God, they're doing this in the middle of London. Why are they calling it traffic jam?
That was at the embassy too, right?
Yeah, like, why are they so radical? Why do you think we're going to unite? They will criticize those things. People who are nitpicking things like his shirt off, those are people, in my opinion, wallahu a'lam, but people who wish to be doing what he's doing, but they can't do it. So the easiest thing to do is to criticize and say, well, he did it the wrong way. So that's why it's okay not to support it.
I think that's very few people. Maybe somebody who's also at his status that would say that.
No.
I would get it.
No, I'm telling you, there's people who are envious. Meaning that they won't admit to themselves, but they'll say, listen, I wish I could be that man who could speak power to truth. That's not something easy to do, to put your neck on the line in front of people, be recorded. And the Chinese government, I'm not trying to sound melodramatic, but the Chinese government is no joke. I mean, they normally do run covert operations all the time.
Yeah.
You have to consider those things. And there are people who, like, for example, it's like this. Haters are going to hate, right? For example, if I got there are people who get a car, right? They'll condemn they'll criticize every little thing. Even though they can't afford the car, they wish they could have that car, but they're doing it to make themselves feel better about their own situation by picking it, it's not that good. Or by putting it on somebody else down. And that's what I'm trying to say. That the ones who are looking at his shirt, the color of his hair, his nipples, I don't know, what fanny pack, what brand he's wearing, that's all trivial stuff to make themselves feel better.
Do you think he shaved, though, before the before this.
Well, he's Egyptian. They're not that hairy, so. Arabs don't have that much hair in the body.
It's important, Sheikh. We need to know about these kind of things.
No, it's not important.
I thought it'd be worse from him. I thought he would have asked, did you rub some lotion or body oil? I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking about here. I know his mind was going somewhere. But alhamdulillah, I'm pure-minded, so I don't have to worry about that.
Bro.
Yeah.
No, I think what he did was beautiful. Bro, I'm not going to lie, the first time I saw that, I was like, it's been a while, like when you get caught up in a grind a little bit, you forget what it is to be around Muslims that really, really speak on behalf of the ummah on the other side of the world. And it really just brought me back to reality again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I loved it, bro. He did me a huge favor, obviously, with the permission of Allah, is just bringing me closer to Allah in just a situation of Muslims.
And I think we need those checks sometimes because, guys like us who work in corporate fields and we sit there and, we have that disconnect, right? You're in this rat race. Like every day I got to do this, I got to check my Bitcoin, I got to do that, You tend to be disconnected.
Do you think a speech like that can happen in America?
Of course.
Yeah, of course it can.
No, I mean, yeah, but other than him.
Shirazi!
99% of people don't know
who he is. Yeah. So we have a relative of mine, by the way.
It's okay. He was on one of our episodes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You guys go check it out.
Twice.
But he has always been this way, and people like this, they're not doing it for attention. Yeah. They do it because there's a genuine feel and there's a fire under them when they see these things that enrage them. Allah has put this care in their heart and this brotherhood that they really cherish, and it fires them up. It gets them to the point where they become emotional. Yeah. And there are brothers here that are like that, but I would agree with Sim that it's rare. There's no way a platform like in the UK. One thing good is their major platforms will support people like Mohammed Hijab. In America, major platforms will distance people like Mohammed Shirazi. Not because what he's saying is wrong, but because they're afraid of intimidated about what scrutiny will come on them with their affiliation with him. And I think that's the difference. So we won't see that type of cooperation in America. We certainly have people in America that do that. They just don't get the same attention because our organizations don't prop them up because they're afraid. Whereas the UK, it's not like the UK is more religious and more than the Muslims in here. No, we have the same people here. But our organizations operate entirely different in America.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Like organizations like CARE, ICNA, ISNA, they have different objectives, bro. I mean, you have a popular Dawah organization here that goes into a Sikh Gurdwara and wear like bandanas and say Happy Sikh Day and this kind of thing, and they have no problem doing that, right? But you won't find them ever putting a neck out for a Muslim. Right, so that's the difference. Well, in the UK, they have no problem doing that. These organizations are built from people like this, who laid the foundation for this grassroots thing. Yeah. So that's the difference.
The other observation that I made from what you said, bro, which I really, really have been thinking about is if somebody like Mohammed Hijab was to do something like the same fashion that he did, the whole distancing process he said that everyone would have, that would be more of a reason for that person to be scrutinized and be pushed to the side and be easily just eaten up by the powers that may be, because no one's going to have his back. So it's going to be like, hey, not even normal people have your back. Why are you talking like this? Which is what makes America very, very interesting in comparison to the UK, right?
You mean the groups right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
So that's why the UK is very different.
We can't count on Muslim groups for anything. Yeah. If they can't find profit in that lawsuit and framing it, they don't bother even looking at you. I'll give you a small example. How about this way, Sim? There are more people concerned with Dr. Aafia Siddiqui in the UK than there are in America.
Yeah.
That should be enough to tell you the situation.
That's sad, dude.
As far what I mean is Muslim organizations that are more concerned. There are many people here that are concerned.
People who don't know, Dr. Aafia is an American. She was in Afghanistan. She was captured by the Americans, and consequently, or later at a later point, the Americans accused her of killing or injuring, shooting.
This 5'4" woman apparently in the
overpowered a soldier.
Somehow out wrestled a soldier, stole his gun, threw herself, and then shot him and tried to kill this. I mean, did anyone believe this? That woman who a Ivy League researcher in biology, a 5'4", researcher, is accused of doing this.
Yeah. Who's a brother that's always representing her?
I forgot his, Imam. He's the African American brother from Maryland. I have it. I'm trying to get him on the show.
He's amazing.
But we always bump into him, and imagine. I don't want to make the whole thing, but
this has to be talked about.
He's outside of ISNA, ICNA, all these major organizations in the dead of summer, like it's hot, and he's out there holding signs. An African American brother who has no relation to the Indo-Pak community but simply because he knows that her case is an injustice, stands outside and willing to put his neck outside in the line and be in the scrutiny of the government and protest, arrange these things to have her case heard, and fight on her behalf. But he does it simply because, it's brotherhood. Yeah. He feels this is his obligation.
Raise the awareness.
Yeah.
I think when we were in Houston, I forgot what
he was in Houston. He was in Chicago.
I think even the I don't want to say the organizers. I don't want him to speak, but something happened with him where he wanted to actually be inside, and I think they didn't want him to be inside, right? Because they said that they don't want that type of attention or something like that. I can't remember which organization it was.
All the organizations don't want his booth or anything there because they have Dr. Aafia Siddiqui. They don't. They don't want anything that the government to make anything uneasy to talk about.
Yeah.
They're afraid to challenge the narrative of a government about something because it threatens what they believe is a perceived working relationship, even though it's not. Right? They think that they're somehow safe if they just play by the rules, quote unquote rules. But we see how that plays out, right? We've seen how many people have gotten played by the system, right? They thought they were being smart by taking CVE funding, doing this, doing that. It all comes out in the end, right? Allah exposes those people. You can't hide from what your reality is, right? Once a rat, always a rat. It's just what it is.
So this brother, he's writing in the chat. I lived in the UK. People there definitely feel like they are not part of the dominant culture, so they don't mind being different. Sometimes they revel in being different. So I think U.S. Muslims feel like we are part of the mainstream culture, so we don't want to stick out. And he hit the nail on the head.
Melting pot in the salad bowl, right?
So the ability of a native country to absorb their immigrant population makes that works against Muslims in that sense that Muslims don't want to do anything that makes them stand out or be different. They don't want to do anything that goes against the grain. So, one of the reasons why you have the problems you have in France, for example. In France, the French were racist against the Muslims who came from North Africa.
Yeah.
And they lived in slums and stuff. So they never got absorbed into mainstream French culture. See,
I'm going to differ here. I'm going to say, look, man, the idea that you have to somehow be, this idea that America is, you can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, a little bit closer.
Okay. I always talk loud, so I'm not sure if it's, Anyways, the idea that America makes this perfect melting pot, everyone can just come in, they can lose their identity. Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I mean, look, dude, there are religious identities that still very much maintain their religion, like Jews. They're at less than 2%. People know what Hanukkah is, what kosher is, what mezuzahs are, what yarmulkes are. They know what they can and can't do. They're very much, and they wear that Jewish thing on their sleeve. It's the mindset of the Muslim in America, right? And this mindset happened post 9/11. Let's just be very frank. Pre 9/11, we think anybody cared about this stuff? We don't care if we're different. Bro, we had people, Tablighi Jamaat, making like Jamaat and gush around the neighborhoods. And like, they didn't care about this stuff, bro. It was a post 9/11 mindset. They got shook to the core because they had things like Patriot Act that could pick you up and send to Guantanamo Bay without question, and that shook people to the core.
Of course it did, yeah.
Right? So let's just be quite frank about that. It has nothing to do with about America, this perfect place where you can just forget your culture. And no, they will remind you every day that you're not white and you're not a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. You will know that. You will know because you don't celebrate Christmas, you don't have happy hour, you don't eat pork, right? You're going to know very quickly that, you don't belong to the country club. You're going to know that you don't belong, you're not from that culture.
If you're a practicing Muslim.
I'm talking about the practicing. The non-practicing, I care less about them. I mean, they go anywhere in the world.
They go drinking.
I don't care about that. They're just like the gringo to me. It doesn't make a difference to me, right? But what I'm saying is that the practicing Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Before 9/11, there was a clear difference. I mean, even now, for me, look, there's a reason why people think I'm like, he's just promoting his own brand. No, I purposely wear shirts like this to bring, because I'm proud of my identity, right? It's not that I'm trying to promote, I want you guys to buy, I don't know if you guys tell you guys to buy this stuff. I wear it because for me, it's about being unique in my identity. Actually, for me, post 9/11, it made me more aware of being a Muslim. Yeah. How I wear clothes in public. I travel with a beard. I remember coming back from Saudi Arabia in a store with a giant beard on purpose because I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be afraid to be a Muslim.
Yeah.
You like it, you don't like it, not my business. Because what you should be thinking as an American, if you are an American Muslim, you have certain rights that are guaranteed to you. They may not like it, but they have to grant it to you. They can't kick you out of the country. You gotta if you come in, they gotta let you in, right? There's thing you should be taking advantage of that stuff. Second Amendment, you want to own a gun, you can own a gun, right? Those kind of things you should not. Don't take advantage. Don't prop up the dumb things like freedom of speech, plurality. We love everybody. Don't prop that dumb stuff up. Right? Prop up the stuff that's in your benefit because they passed these laws for their benefit. Yeah. So why don't you use it for your benefit?
Yeah.
Right? Be who you are. You find Mexican American, Italian Americans, Hindu Americans, Jewish Americans, Christian Americans, whatever you want, every subcategory. Why is it difficult for us to have our own subcategory? Don't be ashamed.
Yeah, dude.
Don't be intimidated. They want you to be intimidated. They want you to assimilate this Judeo-Christian value. They did that to the Jews, the liberal Jews. And, the Orthodox, they maintain their identity. They have their own communities. They don't worry about none of that stuff. They don't care what anyone talks about them. Oh, they're weird. They don't do this. They actually respect them. They won't say a damn thing about the Jews. Whether they agree or they don't. So being principled is the way you earn respect. Not being a sellout. Not being someone that wavers in the wind. If you want people to respect you, you be who you are, you be principled. Don't break the law, because I'm not telling you to do that, but I'm saying be who you are. Don't worry about other people's opinions. And people will respect that about you.
Yes, sir. Dropping it, Mort. Muzzy Buzz Mort.
What else is happening, fellas?
I was going to ask you guys a little bit about Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Have you been?
Yeah, I've been watching it, and I think I don't know. I think that guy's gonna walk, bro.
I think he's gonna walk too.
Yeah, I think
not because he should, because of the letter of the law.
I don't know if he should or wouldn't. I don't know the whole thing, but I'm saying I've been watching the trial like here and there, and that judge seems like he's got like he doesn't like the prosecution. Mm-hmm. He seemed like a little bit like, I'm a white guy, you the white guy, you're just a kid messing around. He's just very nonchalant about this whole thing.
He didn't even come off like a judge the way he talked.
Yeah, he's always forgetting about things, and then like now I was trying to follow along, but there's some evidence that they don't really want to. They couldn't. Yeah. No, not false. The megabit quality of the video file was not the same that was given. Whatever.
Well, the judge even said that don't call them victims, the people who died.
Yeah, very strange, right?
Yeah.
So I think they might be declared a mistrial. In all reality, I think that's
the last update that I saw.
I think that could be like what happened. But here's what I think. I think they're also afraid because if they declare a mistrial or say he's not guilty, you're talking about riots, bro.
You think so?
Oh, bro, inner city riots? Yeah, Milwaukee will burn, bro. Oh yeah, bro.
No, but he killed white guys, right?
Doesn't matter, bro. Lefties love it.
I think lefties will riot.
Yeah, lefties. Who decided to hype up with them? The same lefties are dropping off bricks for people in like Black Lives Matter movements, right?
Yeah, Antifa.
Yeah. So what were they gonna do? I mean, they find any reason to riot. And if they go to certain areas where there's looters, doesn't care if you're black. They're gonna blame the black people. Oh, the black people are looters. But they're not. They just provoke it. And there's looters everywhere. And they went to certain areas and did it because they know they can get away with it. I'm just saying that I don't expect massive riots in the country, but certain areas like Kenosha, Milwaukee, maybe some parts of Chicago, maybe Midwest areas, yeah, maybe not crazy, but people are going to be upset if the kid walks away free, dude. I mean, look, imagine if one of us walked in there and thought we were going to play vigilante and, 17-year-old, but I'm going to help defend my neighbors in Kenosha, Wisconsin and arm their properties and walk around with a gun. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm saying just put myself in his shoes and what would happen to me. That's what I'm trying to look at.
Yeah.
Right?
That's kind of crazy.
Imagine if I was a black guy. Yeah. Would they give him the same benefit of the doubt? I don't think so.
Yeah, man. The other thing I've been thinking about a lot is the gold of the Euphrates River, man. The Euphrates River drying up thing.
Tell us about it. What about it?
So Mort knows more, like, as far as the excavation is concerned, right? With the Euphrates River and the gold.
I don't know too much about it. I just remember reading this article. Maybe you can Google in the meantime. Because Amr was reluctant to Google for some reason while we're talking about this the whole damn time.
My phone's on airplane mode when I'm on the episode.
You can still have Wi-Fi.
No, I'm in airplane mode.
This guy. How are you
airplane mode? Quality more.
Okay.
Quality of the mics.
On right now, I'm watching the stream. There's no quality.
I'll look it up.
Anyways.
Point being, since Amr distracted me here,
is that the Euphrates River is claimed to be drying up.
Excuse me, I'm speaking here.
Okay.
7th century Amr.
Cut it out, you two.
Yeah. So the bottom line is the Euphrates is allegedly starting to dry up, and they're uncovering gold.
Yeah.
Allegedly, I'm not sure how true this is, but that goes back to the hadith mentions mountain of gold near the Euphrates, and that could be perhaps the treasure that these brother kings or the king, whatever they were, the sons of the king. Or
So wait, are you talking about literal gold disappearing?
Literal gold.
Not black gold,
Not
not
black
oil.
gold,
Because
No, it's actually literal gold.
Literal gold.
Yeah.
so where did you find this?
I read it somewhere in some article. I posted on Twitter too. I have to find it. Say gold being found in the Euphrates or something. Nothing. I don't know. Maybe I came across it on Twitter. Like I said, I didn't research it that much.
They're saying there's gold or black gold like oil.
You mean oil? I could be wrong. Like I said, I didn't. I know that there was.
I
gold.
thought it was actual gold, but the
Here, market research.
Yeah,
telecast.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sorry, but I remember reading a while ago.
In southern Iraq, black gold money does not reach its impoverished population.
well, that's something else.
I don't know. I'll
So basically, this is where the thing that I was thinking about is that the Euphrates River. There are some reports that it's like drying up and all that kind of stuff. Some excavations taking place, right? And the hadith in Sahih Bukhari is basically both narrations are by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, that the treasure, that there's going to be a treasure, and another narration says a mountain, right? That a treasure will erupt or will be uncovered in the Euphrates River, right? So obviously there's a lot of focus right now on of this area of the world, and from what I understand and from what I read, that they've been like looking for gold, or they found gold, or things that lead to gold, basically, like gold, not black gold. So then I just started thinking about the hadith regarding that, and that 99 people out of 100 would be killed in this war to fight over this gold, right? So Rasulullah in the hadith said, if you see the gold, don't go near it, and stay where you are. And from that war, the hadith says that 99 out of 100 people will die, right? In this war. So that's why I was just thinking about that. I was like,
I wonder if this will happen after the regular international monetary system collapses, the fiat system, because the fiat system is just right now out of control, and people are losing faith in it. They're going towards Bitcoin.
So superpowers will fight for the
What
gold?
if it's digital gold that's in the Euphrates? Are there any Bitcoin miners on the Euphrates, on the banks of the Euphrates?
Yeah. So by the way, this is what I'm talking about. So apparently Euphrates starts right in Turkey, right? Roughly starts from the bank. They're finding massive gold deposits in Turkey, and they're saying they're kind of relating it to the two. It's on the Reddit forum. If you look on the bottom, there's a link. But yeah, so Bitcoin could be the black gold. I don't know. Bitcoin could be gold, but I'm a mooner. I'm a holder and a mooner. So I have faith in Bitcoin. For those of you out there that don't believe me, tough luck. Maybe you might be the have-nots. I don't know, but
We tried to tell you.
yeah, we tried to tell you
for years. Right?
You guys made fun of me. You guys look down
Who
on me.
made fun of you, Mort?
But I don't know. Maybe it's a guy.
No, I had coworkers. I would tell them about Bitcoin 3-4 years ago. They would laugh in my face, but they were boomers,
Who?
Like
Coworkers.
No, I mean
coworkers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were boomers.
No, I'm saying if you can go back like 2 or 3 years in our own.
And they would laugh like, "What, you think this is gonna take over?" And now that was when Bitcoin was around like $8,000.
I think a good example is Mahi. Listen to me. He just bought in and he's happy right now.
I think Moga was the first one to get everybody on
No,
there, right?
I was earning before him.
Really?
Yeah. And then we talk about it, but Mogo is smart. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to talk about Mogo right now. But the point being is that the point being is that I don't want to make a whole Bitcoin discussion, but do your research.
Right now,
fiat currency is crap. Let's just be honest. All right, hyperinflation. Old man Biden is God knows what he's doing. If he's sleeping in the White House, I don't know what he's doing. But they're all complaining about hyperinflation right now. Markets aren't looking that great. We had to raise the debt ceiling. All that means negative news for fiat currency. When there's negative news for fiat currency, physical assets and digital assets and hedging assets, they all rise in value. Property, gold, watches, arts, paintings, cars, everything all rises in value when fiat currency is threatened. So, ride the bull!
So you are you believing the end is nigh?
Honestly, it doesn't matter what I think, but thank you for asking me. I just personally think everything that we've been seeing in Look, every generation claimed and thought that Yom Al-Qiyamah was going to happen in their generation. People who were always looking out for the signs, right?
I don't think it's going to happen in our generation.
No,
Let me the first.
I didn't say it is.
Let me be the first to dissent.
Look,
I'm just joking,
point,
guys.
No, the point.
I have no idea.
The point in all this, no, none of us do, right? Rasulullah didn't know, right? Jibreel alayhi salam didn't know. Nobody knows. It seems like almost every generation that you see, when they looked at their situation, even if it was 500 years ago, 800 years ago, they always thought that it was very, very close, maybe even their generation. And that's what usually happens to the people who adhere, or the people of Iman. They see things that other people don't see, which leads them to believe, to work towards the end of time.
So you're saying you have more iman than us?
I'm saying we're all in the same boat as believers.
I thought you were able to see
No,
some things.
that's not what I meant to say. I'm saying, alhamdulillah, Allah put us in a situation where we all remind each other of Allah. We have come from good families.
Alhamdulillah, you are good people, iman like yourself, so we can get that benefit.
Get out of here, dude. Anyways, so it's one of those things that my personal thing is that obviously no matter what happens, we never know. We actually never know. And everyone could claim, even if the whole world and the whole entire ummah claims that this is it. This is like all the signs have come. All the minor signs have come, which they basically have. It's still one of those things that's one of the reasons why that safety net for Muslims is there, is that if they're aware of their surroundings and they believe in Allah the way He's supposed to be believed in, they're going to work towards their actions as if it's the end of times. Right? That's all there is to it, inshallah. Because we don't know. We actually have no
my
idea.
thing is like this. Listen, those things are not known, but you just got to be ready when the time comes that, hey, all this is temporary.
Yeah, dude.
Right? You want to stack all your money right now. Hey, Allah gave you a dunya. Do what you can do, halal. Make your money, enjoy it. But if that time comes, you got to choose between dunya and akhirah. You better know what your decision is.
Yeah, man.
You better know what that means for you. And I think that's the problem. Most people don't know what that means. Right? You know, whether that comes to making hijrah, whether it comes to giving zakat, sadaqah, right? Helping people in need. They don't know where to draw that line.
I can't.
I'm just saying, they think that it's them that's doing the, like, I'm the one making myself money.
Yeah, it's so strange and weird to me. I'm so glad I'm never associated with them. Alhamdulillah, like, there's these people who all they talk about how much money they make and you know the nice cars that they have. And I'm like, dude, I know your family, and I know they're not doing so well. And how dare you like talk about your wealth? What good is your wealth when your family is struggling? Like maybe you're
100%.
Maybe your parents are doing okay,
money, and you know how to make money, and your family is not living to your standard. You're a scumbag to me.
Yeah. So there's no such thing as self-made man.
Yeah,
not
and to me, at the end of the day, dude, we've all known people, right? Like, there are people who don't deserve to make a goddamn dime. Real talk. And Allah gives them more money than they can imagine.
Yeah.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah.
Yeah.
And there are people that deserve, you would think, deserve to have tons of money.
Yeah.
Because of their work ethic, but Allah decrees something else.
Yeah, of course.
So at the end of the day, we know you have to do, but what we do know is that when you do work, Allah won't leave you hungry.
Yeah.
Right? The rizq that you get is something different.
Yeah.
But you have to work to eat. That's something we know. That's true for anybody.
No, I think this is coming from a place, obviously, this whole concept of a self-made man, right? There's no such thing. And I think that's
natural
why you mentioned
destiny.
that. Yeah.
I control my destiny.
Yeah.
I do this. Look, we believe in free will, but at the same time, a lot of this is written. You have to know that in your heart. This is written.
Yeah.
It's because, and you know why that's important? Because if you really want to be something in life, you're gonna dedicate your time to do a lot of things, and guess what? It's not gonna work out for you.
Yeah.
You're gonna do business, it's gonna fail.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to get a job, it's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
You might get fired. You might lose your income. It's not for you. That money wasn't written for you. Now the West will tell you, or the non-religious mindset will tell you, oh, it's a numbers game. You just gotta keep going, work harder, work. I mean, I'm not saying don't work hard, but it's not because of that work that you got this. Right? There are plenty of people who work 2, 3, 4 jobs.
Yeah.
And they don't make the money that you're making right now.
Yeah.
You know, so that comes, you have to be humble and say, alhamdulillah, and I'll tell you from my own experience. If it wasn't for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my mother's dua and sadaqah, I wouldn't have anything that I have right now.
Yeah,
I'm a complete jerk off. I don't deserve any money. No, I'm being honest with you. Ask him, I'm a very lazy person. I have poor work ethics.
Yeah.
I don't really care about a lot of things. I just want to do things in my own time.
Yeah. It'd be enough for you to say jerk. That would be good enough. You don't have to.
I'm sorry that offended you.
You don't offend me. I just said jerk.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. You had to interrupt my important dialogue here.
You were done.
To talk. Drop off. Anyways.
No, you're wrapping up.
I know. Well, this guy,
Okay.
man.
So,
made me forget.
Yusuf writes in the chat, true. Problem is how many of us are actually preparing? How many are training? If the Dajjal comes tomorrow, who will be an asset and who will be a liability? And who will be a liability? Yeah. So, I mean,
do you train for the Dajjal?
I don't know.
No, you run away from that guy, bro. You if you want
the training. There's no physical training. It's a training.
It's spiritual.
Yeah. It's a training. Let's just be very clear. None of us want to fight the Dajjal.
Yeah.
The Dajjal. That's the kind of guy that you want to run away from.
Mm. Dajjal, for those who don't know, is the Antichrist. We have some non-Muslims who listen to the show. Every once in a while I get some emails.
Yeah.
So the Antichrist in Islam is different from Christianity in the sense that the Antichrist will lead not just any kind of he will first be a kind of like a savior of sorts, and then he will end up proclaiming himself to be a prophet and then a god,
he'll be really
right?
deceitful. He'll be someone with wisdom, and he'll attract people. And I think majority of people's followers be women because they're more emotional sometimes, and they're gonna fall off this trap, right? There's a eccentric guy,
toxic women, not good believing women,
not the regular good women,
not the listening women who listen to the show.
You mean the ones that have toxic femininity?
No, listen. So, anyways, but yeah, then he'll become like this prophet, right? He'll claim he's a prophet or a person of God, and then eventually he'll end up even declaring that he is God
by his miracles, showing people miracles.
Because he'll bring people back to life. He'll do certain miracles. He'll do this. How can this not be a God? Anyway, point being is, he'll be a very he's a big charlatan. And he's a very
But the people of Iman will be able to see that he's a kafir. They'll say kafir.
I think there will be the sign kafir.
That the people of Iman can see.
That will be evident to them. And by the people don't know this, but the whole point of Sayyidina Isa coming back is that only he's the one that can kill the Dajjal. We can't really do anything in that. I mean, before his coming, is mentioned, right?
Yep.
So the command that we were given by the Prophet is that if you were to encounter a Dajjal, you go away from him. Don't try to think you can take on the fitna and you're the John Rambo. You take out the Dajjal, right? Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
Well, another thing that we as Muslims have in common with the Christians, at least towards the end of times, is the beast that comes out of the earth. So in Quran it talks about Dabatul Ard. Is that pronounced it right?
Yeah.
Can you say it again because
no, but I'm just
recollecting
Ard now. Is that in Surah Al-Kahf or is that a hadith?
No, it's not Surah Al-Kahf.
No. But
yeah. So this beast comes out towards the end of time. These are the last few days. Yeah. This beast is released from the earth, and it has the ability to meet every single person on the planet in one night. It's like Santa.
It'll be able to communicate to every single person.
So it'll be able to travel. Yeah, I mean, Santa goes around the world in one night. Okay, but it's a scary. I'm imagining it to be scary because it's called Dab. That's a scary.
Dab means beast.
Dab, Lord. Yeah, it's a beast.
Yeah, like Jasasa.
It's a beast. So, Dabba will be...
Dabba?
Why are you guys using our
because of Turkish horror movie?
Dabba.
We were watching Dabba 4. It was a great horror movie. That's why we ended up looking up what Dabbatul Ard means. Yeah. Because
wait, you didn't know about Dabbatul Ard?
No, because the Turkish movie gives a different explanation. The Turks, man, they're sneaky.
I think it was the person that made it to make it more hot. He kind of mixed things together.
I think this guy was a Gulenist. The director.
Because he's a Gulenist?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Some strange opinions.
Yeah. But by the way, before we get to that.
But it was a very excellent movie.
Yeah. But before we get to that, though, do we say, Amr, that Jasasa was Dabbatul Ard? Was Tamim Daddy?
I know from a few writings that some people thought that it was, and some people claimed that it was Dajjal. Some people, but
because they did make a reference that the thing was so hairy, they couldn't see the face and everything. It was like a hairy beast, but it could just mean that he was maybe the island. He was just a savage. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
And he was asking about the end of time.
Who was that? In the Addams Family, Cousin It. Was it Cousin It?
Yeah, Cousin It. The guy with the
big. That's what I always imagine Jasasa as.
It's like R2-D2 with a hairy R2-D2.
Maliki asks, is the beast Bigfoot, but all hype? No,
I was just going to ask you about all the Bigfoot research you've been
Yo,
doing.
Sim is on that Bigfoot stuff right now. The Sasquatch.
We are going to have an episode.
Hey,
I've
what are
done
the names,
so
by
much
the way?
research.
There's Bigfoot, there's Sasquatch. What
Yeti.
Yeti?
There's
Not
other...
Blue Yeti, right? Just Yeti.
Huh?
Not Blue Yeti, right? Just Yeti, right?
No, Blue Yeti's a microphone.
What else?
There's other
different names.
There's different names.
Jetty in like South America, right? They call it. Like,
there's so many different.
Yeah.
Each Indian tribe had their own names for it, and some of them have different unique characteristics. And the thing is, why I went down this rabbit hole is because of a book called Missing 411, written by a man by the name of David Paulides, who was initially asked to investigate incidences of missing people who go missing in national forests every year. These people are not missing people who just got lost in the forest, but these are people who you turned around and they're just gone. They disappeared.
Like we're talking about stuff where like the footstep tracks don't make sense, like how things, like the way they were found, their clothes, certain body parts missing only like without major wounds, just weird things like total blood being
following
drained.
David Paulides' work, I got into more mysterious events. One called the Dyatlov Pass incident that involves a bunch of hikers who were in the 1960s were traveling through the mountains. These are experienced professional hikers who were traveling through the mountains in Russia, and
so that woman in the 60s.
No, that was later.
Okay.
So these guys were professional hikers who were trying to get the top level certification. If you finished this hike, you got the top thing. And the Dyatlov Pass incident basically was these guys who, after 2 weeks of them being missing, they came out. They found their tent completely torn from the middle, as if they tore their way out of it, and then their bodies were completely missing, or they're all
shoes
over.
That were there. They ran barefoot.
They were wearing each other's clothes, and then
they had mixed and matched. And some of them had they were perfectly blunt face trauma, but then something had taken out their eyes.
Just eyes were missing.
Just eyes only.
That's creepy.
Yeah, the weird thing that they found.
So incidences like this have happened in America too, and they're very well documented.
Kidnappings, like where they're just like in the backseat, just for a second they look away and it's gone.
Yeah,
like
my mom had actually told me about.
And they'll find them miles away from the same spot. And there's like a toddler, like stuff like that.
My mom told me about one of her friends' daughter. Shut up! You know I wasn't going to go there. My mom's friend in Dubai, they had some kind of trailer or some, they have these construction outlets in the desert. Mm-hmm. So they were watching. Their daughter was playing on some kind of a playground or a swing set type of a thing, and she had told me this story years ago, and I didn't really put two and two together until anything, because she said that her and her husband were taking out stuff out of the thing, and there's just nothing but desert around them. They literally just turn around and their daughter's gone. Completely miles of desert all around them. And they're just unloading stuff from their car and putting it in their home. And she's vanished without a trace.
Did they ever find her?
They never found her.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So these kind of incidents that have been happening around the world.
Yeah. It's very common. And people have many sightings, many reports. This is going back to like early days. I mean, it's not even like even the 1900s, like earlier than that too. But we should probably just do like a fan episode about.
Yeah, so that's what got me into really researching
Bigfoot. Skinwalker Ranch.
On a side note, though, if you ever want to go, Bigfoot Sasquatch country is Seattle. It's like Washington.
Yes,
right?
Seattle, and Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon, Washington, and our good friend Maliki Click is up in that region.
Maliki, can you give us a tour?
And he goes to the woods.
Yeah. Oh, Maliki.
He does. He goes out and goes hunting in the woods.
Maliki. Let's be
that
friends.
was very weird. Oh, Maliki.
You know, I have a crush on Bigfoot. Okay.
Very sarcastic. I don't know if that was sensual or sarcastic.
If Bigfoot has a crush on Maliki, then I have a crush on Maliki.
Say Til Valhalla.
I don't know if that's kosher.
No, it's kosher. Til Valhalla.
No, I don't want to say something.
Til Valhalla.
I feel like you're setting me up.
Used to say to the heavens. Til Valhalla. To the afterlife.
We can't say that.
Why not?
They're
There's some evidence that Vikings
those are pagans.
interact with Islam.
Those are
There's some
pagans, bro.
evidence.
Those are pagans.
Oh, you really got into that too about Vikings for a while, right?
Oh,
You're the one who introduced me to that show about the Vikings or something.
Yeah, no, I was telling you.
Yeah, but
I'm showing to Megan right now. I'm replaying all the episodes.
You saw everything, all the episodes.
We're in the 3rd season now.
How is it?
It's great, man.
No, but the concept of the show, like the idea of triumphing and the life, and that is inspiring. The Viking way of life had a lot of parables to Islam in a lot of ways.
Is it? Can you watch it with kids or no? Is it like a kid friendly?
No,
it's not kid friendly. No.
Yeah. There's the gore.
These
and
guys
the
are
sex.
like the opposite. Imagine the opposite of Ertugrul. These guys are that.
I see. Okay.
They're complete. They have no good character. There's no. You know what I learned about watching Vikings?
Loki's great.
Vikings is a show that really makes you understand the gifts that the Europeans were given, aka the white man, were given in terms of ingenuity, creativity, the ability to organize and form all these different units and abilities to collect resources, colonize, what have you, you know. But their biggest weaknesses is ambition. Themselves, they can't get along with each other. There's always one guy who thinks I can do it better.
But isn't that true for every single?
No.
The Romans, the Mamluks. The Turkish.
They have a little bit. Even the Turks,
Arabs.
But that's why the Turks and them, they were still able to do it for a short while. The Europeans are hardly ever. Charlemagne tried it just for a little bit, and right after Charlemagne died, it was over.
The Roman Empire was a pretty long empire, you know?
That was, 2,000 years ago, bro?
Know,
what are you talking about?
It's still the same people. The white people, you know?
Yeah, and it fell apart real quick.
America is a long-lasting empire. 200 and some odd years, buddy.
That's nothing.
These colors don't run.
Still a baby,
look at all the different ethnicities in China, India, and various other regions around the world who are able to pull all those various regions to work together.
What that is, though, is that maybe they're a little bit more inclusive in European societies, whereas Eastern societies where there's no inclusivity. You're a peasant, I'm a king. Shut up and do your work. There's no say in it. The more you give people a say, the more chance you have for rebellion.
Yeah.
Right? Did any Mongol think about rebelling? Did any Chinese think about rebelling against the Chinese emperor? No, they were brutal.
But and that's what the Turks did as well. They noticed. They knew. You know why so many of all these emperors or all these khulafa that were Ottoman caliphs, they didn't have any one that was an Arab mom?
Yeah, they intentionally did that. Actually, their contingency was a Mongol. If they would have lost power, they had contingency planned to give it to their Mongol cousins because they thought the Arabs were incapable of ruling.
No. Here's the thing. So the reason why they didn't have Arab mothers was because Arabs always wanted to root their clan has ties to being a legitimate leader. So the Ottoman scholars knew this about the Arabs, so they intentionally took the slave women from Europe, from Bulgaria, Albania, Serbia, Bosnia, and they had those women be the mothers of these caliphs.
Yeah, but it's
a brilliant strategy.
But the Turks also believe they were superior too. They also believe that it was them because if it
how are they superior if their mothers are white?
No. They believe that because the father bloodline. They believe that the father bloodline, the Turkic tribe, that certain tribes had hierarchies, and that either next of kin after that were the Mongols, like the Turkic tribes. They believe the other ones were they didn't want what they really believed was the Arabs were incapable of this because you know who instrumental in this talking about this? Ibn Khaldun. In his Muqaddimah, he talks about how there was a certain amount of asabiyya that's needed in order to maintain longevity in rule. And the Arabs had this asabiyya, but it got to a point where it's just too irreconcilable for them. Tribes began to fight, like we see Banu Umayyah, right off the bat, right? Where Banu Umayyah says, no, we need to have rule with us, right? And so from that point on, we realized an early lesson that asabiyya is going to be among the Arabs.
The point is that the Turks had less of that asabiyya or tribalism than
each other.
Yeah, so the Turks didn't have as much of it as the Arabs did. So they were able to rule for a much longer time.
Yeah,
that's right.
So before we segue into something, before we wrap this show up, people have been asking us about what do we think about that new release that's coming out now of Jordan Peterson and Mohammed Hijab on the 13th is coming up. Or
I think we
23rd.
talked about that. We said that it was going to be.
Yeah, we did talk about it. We said it was a good thing, but I mean, I don't know the details. I haven't talked to Mohammed Hijab on the details of
it. It was recorded though.
It was recorded,
so we can confirm that.
And I think to sum up what we said in our last a few episodes ago discussing this is we think a conversation is good. We all agree that having a conversation is a good thing to do, regardless of whether you agree with the guy or you don't agree, provided it's respectful. And number two, I think some of us disagree whether Mohammed Hijab may be the most beneficial to speak to Jordan Peterson. I personally think he's fine. He has experience. Sim thought maybe differently, but
come on, let's be honest here. Don't you remember how we were talking about two weeks ago? I called him Mohammed Hijab is a WWE of Muslim Dawah. What does he do? 1 week later, he dresses up as a WWE guy.
Yeah, but I think no. But hold on,
bro. He must be a listener.
No. I
don't know if you are or you know.
No. Here's the thing. I think Mohammed Hijab can appeal to all crowds. Like when he wants to be very intellectual, he decimates people. Like when you talk to David Wood, talk philosophy people, he decimates them. When it comes to people like just creating buzz content and getting people hyped, the common folk, he can do that. Yeah. And I think he was also able to handle this conversation with JP because very rarely do you see. I mean, JP has been commenting about this as a follow-up for a while. I had a really good conversation. I can't wait to have more. This was really good. I mean, JP is a guy that's an intellectual, right? He's not going to be he doesn't get, he's not track. He doesn't, this super style, what he's talking about doesn't appeal to him, right? Sensationalism does not appeal to Jordan Peterson, right? He's an academic, right? He needs something more to stimulate him. And it seems to me that Mohammed Hijab, alhamdulillah, was able to appeal to that intellectual side of Jordan Peterson based on what we see so far. So, I mean, people will always criticize. I think personally it's a good thing that happened. There's no harm in just at least conveying what Islam is. Yeah. Allowing his audience to know, as long as he projects, which I feel confident he does, what Islam is, why we believe it's superior.
So one thing I'm very confident about, he's not going to be wishy-washy. Yeah. He's not going to do that.
But he's not going to be like the Hamza Yusuf type where it's going to be like, let's just talk about the good things, like Florence Nightingale. It's not going to happen like that. It's going to be really the things that, hey, and I'm not bad-mouthing him. Look, that style works for different things, right? Yeah. But when you're trying to reach an audience and change an audience and really highlight and contrast Islam with their ideas, you have to have someone that's contrarian. Yeah. You have to be someone that's going to willing to say, hey, I don't mind disagreeing. I want to disagree with you. Mm-hmm. Right?
Why did people have an issue that he was sitting up with JP?
Yeah. I mean, not only they had an issue with the fact that it was Mohammed Hijab doing it. Some people had an issue with the fact that, oh my God, you're sitting down with Jordan Peterson, he's a right winger, he's this, he's a chauvinist, all this stuff. How people, the leftists, go crazy over, even though he's not. Jordan Peterson is not a leftist, he's not a rightist, he's just a guy that speaks his mind. He's very articulate. He has some ideas I agree with, some I don't. He's a very smart man, but he triggers different people. And so, the first, I mean, would you say he's a alt-right? I don't think he's alt-right at all.
Jordan Peterson?
Yeah, you know how the leftists say that it's just nonsense.
That's the stupid stuff that left-wing people just do to throw or discredit an argument without really wanting to engage or put some effort in.
Just discrediting him, like character assassination stuff. So people are like, oh my God, you're giving a white supremacist a platform and blah, 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 blah. That kind of stuff, they were criticizing people all the time. I see. But I think me and Sim, we agree that I don't care, even if he was supposedly a white supremacist, there's no harm in having a conversation with somebody. Yeah. Our job is to convey Islam, and that's it. Yeah. And we choose the message and the command of the Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala over your freaking opinions.
Folks, help
donate,
us out.
Destroy the like button before you start. Decimate, annihilate, smash, Hulk smash.
Some of you guys are asking about the donation button. The donation button is gone. YouTube demonetized our
go to PayPal.
Channels. So go to paypal.com/donate. Sorry.
If I don't get $10 for my time tonight, I'm mad.
The madmamluks.com/donate is where you want to go if you want to donate through PayPal, or just go to patreon.com/themadmamluks and help us out that way. Every little bit helps, fellas. So just commit to a couple of bucks a month, whatever you can, whether it's $2 or $50. You know the value of this show, but the truth is that if you guys don't step up, it's going to go away because we're having to work harder. Everyone's over here is struggling to make ends meet, and if without your support, it's going to go. So help us out.
I mean, I'm doing what I can do to help out, but I mean, there's so much I can do.
Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Assalamu alaikum.